How's it going, everyone, and hope you're doing well. Welcome to this boot review and unboxing of the Puma Ultra Carbon 5s. So this has been confirmed that these will be the new speed boots for Puma Ultras. A really nice narrow pair of speed boots that will be taking over from the Ultra Ultimates, and it gives a much more different design than the previous editions. From first look, these ones are definitely much more narrow than the Ultra Ultimates. It's more targeted for narrow to normal feet types, and then of course the big change in the sole plate in the stud patterns. So for feet types first, if you have narrow to normal feet types, we recommend going a half to one size down. For myself, I had to go a half size down from my usual Puma footwear sizing, and that applies with the Ultra Ultimates as well. From the previous editions, I had to go a half size down. If you have very narrow feet, as you can see with the design of the speed boots, then you may need to go one full size down. So we recommend actually ordering two pairs, whether you're in the Puma store or buy them online. Go a half to one size down and see which one gives you that nice and tighter fit. And this applies for narrow and to normal feet types. For normal feet, you may have to go a half size down too. For wide feet, we recommend going true to size to a half size up. If it's still too narrow for you and too tight fitting in terms of the midfoot area after doing up the laces, then go for the Puma Futures. They're much more accommodating for you and will definitely fit your wide feet. And the same applies for very wide feet. You could always try these in terms of the sizing, ordering a half to one size up from your usual Puma footwear sizing. But of course, if there's too much space in some certain areas and then too tight in the midfoot, because of the boot being very narrow, much more designed for a speed player and narrow feet players, then again, just go for the Puma Futures or Puma Kings, the new editions, which is much more accommodating for your feet type. Now the sole plates, we've used these on firm ground real grass pitches. We don't recommend using these on hard ground 2G sand pitches. Go for the turf versions of the Pumas, which is much beneficial and better for your feet, because you know there's much more chance of injuries and hurting yourself when you're playing on hard concrete and 2G flat surface pitches. It's much better to wear, turf editions than these FGs. We have tested these on AG like 3G, 4G. We're still quite unsure with it because of the unbalance of the sole plate and it's being a new stud patterns, very different from your usual Puma stud patterns of the Puma Ultras, even Kings and Ultimates. There's a bit of unbalance because of the aggressiveness and design for change of direction, especially on firm ground pitches, and also sometimes if the pitch is a bit wet as well. We've got to practice a bit more and use a bit more in terms of using them on artificial grass before we can tell you whether they are for them. We've only used them for about a week to 2 weeks from the previous colorway as well, so do give us a bit of time. And again, the same applies to you. If you've used these on AG, make sure to leave a comment down below on what you think of these elite speed boots. Do you think it's good, or do you think it's very high risk of injuries because of the unbalance we find with the stud pattern, especially at the back here, or it takes a bit of time to get used to them with this carbon fiber sole plate as well. So, there might be more chances of injuries or hurting yourself, twisting an ankle because of the aggressive changes of direction of these stud patterns that they bring. So yeah, do make sure to leave a comment down below on what you think of this. But again, a really nice speed boot, especially when you can wear them on firm ground, real grass pitches. The turns and change of directions, you definitely feel them much more nicely, and it's really nice that Puma brought this out. They still have the PWR tape for these ones on the Ultras and the grip control, so it's really nice in terms of small details of touch and feel for the ball. Really nice, and we highly recommend it, especially if you have the money and the budget. They're a bit more expensive this year, around £250, £260 in euros. So if you have the budget and you're willing to spend the top end for these Puma speed boots, we highly recommend it from our end. But again, it needs a bit more use. We recommend at least 2 to 3 weeks for these because of the newer stud patterns, at least 3 weeks before you take them into a match or fast-paced environment. This could be good for Europe, because if you're playing in Europe and it's still pre-season or pre-season is about to start, especially if in Asia as well, starting in summertime in July or mid-June, then you can at least use these for a month of your own personal training or with friends before you take them into match games with faster pace environments. So it reduces chance of injuries, and also you're used to the sole plate at the bottom, and also just for the material overall to soften up and for you to get used to the boots itself. But thanks for watching this review of the Puma Ultra 5 Carbons. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave it a like and to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to comment down below on what you think of these. As people watching this from the future later on and they're looking to buy these, it really helps them out. And see you next time for another review unboxing in the near future. All the very best and take care.